AITA for having an issue with my spouse's stance on our child's last name. I 30SF am currently expecting. My husband 30SM and I have been together for over a decade, and I chose to keep my maiden name when we got married several years ago. He has always respected this decision. As far as future children go, I always knew our children having his surname was important to him, and I never had an issue with this. So now I am pregnant, and after we found out I was excited. In my excitement babbling about the future, I mentioned the idea of a hyphenated name, which I immediately said wouldn't be practical, as it would be too much of a mouthful. I reiterated that his last name for the baby was the plan. He balked, disgusted at the idea of hyphenated names, and said kids with hyphenated names get picked on, and they're ridiculous. The baby will have my name because that's just the way it is. Again, the baby having his last name I was in support of, but I was taken aback by this comment, and asked, what do you mean that's the way it is? He went off saying how children automatically are given their father's last names at birth as if it's some sort of automatic legal requirement, like someone comes to hospital and forces the father's last name on the birth certificate. Now I am even more taken aback, and questioning WTF is he talking about? I am not liking this. He escalated further about men who has children without their last names are schmucks, pussies, etc. I am fully stunned at this point. He has no explanation for the statement he made about fathers' names being automatically enforced by nameless, faceless entities on families at hospitals, and switched to saying, come on, you know this has always been important to me, which I feel is contradictory to the bizarre claim of legal enforcement. I went from having no issue with giving our child his surname, to having an issue with it, as I am upset with what I perceive to be entitlement. And even though I don't want a hyphenated name, I was still upset about him being so disgusted with the idea of my surname being included. This conversation changed the whole tone of this for me. It went from being something I had no problem doing because I knew it was important to him, to being very turned off by his recently discovered beliefs. I have addressed it twice since this originally occurred, telling him it's very off-putting, upsetting for me. He just blows up demands to know what last name the baby will have. I know I am hormonal, and not quite myself lately, so I would like to know other people's take. AITA for having such an issue with this. For clarity, I feel like I may be the because I may be overreacting and or irrational, like I am causing unnecessary issues.